and get it just.
Looking like a new man, bro. Got the short hair.
Yeah, it looks fucking different, doesn't it?
All right. Okay. Testing 1, 2, 3. Okay, it's Toby from Heavyweight MMA today with UFC fighter Phar Jenkins from Bacchus Marsh. How are you, brother?
Yeah, very good. How are you, Toby?
Good, bro. It's been a while. We first chatted. I just had a look. We chatted first back in 2021, bro. You had dreams of being a UFC fighter, and now you are. You're a couple of fights into your UFC career, bro.
Yeah, crazy, isn't it? It's pretty cool when you look back on it and get to have moments like this where you kind of look back and see that you said, "Oh yeah, I want to be in the UFC and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that," and then to have that come to fruition is pretty special.
The second part of it, bro, 2021 to now, that's like 4 years roughly, a little bit less. You've been training flat out during that whole time. So you just think about, like they say it takes 5 years to master something. You're already thick into your training at that point. You've done another 4 years on top of that. Imagine the amount of skills and that you picked up since then. It's kind of amazing to think of the cumulative effects of you guys training day in, day out, 6 days a week, 52 weeks a year pretty much.
Yeah. Sometimes it's funny. They say like the best kind of athletes train their ass off and still feel like they haven't done enough. And I definitely you have that where I have a plan that we set out with my coaches at the start of a fight camp, and I follow it to a T. Like I never miss sessions, and even when I'm not in camp, I'm always training. And then you kind of get to a point and you think, fuck, have I done enough training? And then you look back and you're like, oh, I've done so much training. And then, like you said, you add that up over years and years, and, that's kind of what it takes.
Bro, you take just one element of MMA, like say jiu-jitsu as probably the prime example. It can get so complex if you want it to be. And then you're adding all the other disciplines and that together to make the big picture of MMA. Like it is an endless study, really. You can never finish.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Like I still... I remember having moments when I just got my black belt recently, and I remember having moments as a white belt thinking, like, imagine how much you know when you're a black belt. Like, imagine how much knowledge you have. And then sometimes I get in there and I do something and I think, geez, I don't know fuck all about this. You know what I mean? It's just, obviously that's not the case, but you still have those moments all the time. There's just so much to learn.
Yeah, bro. I'm a purple belt, bro, and I feel like a fucking retard, bro. I swear to God. I swear
100%.
To God.
Even striking, I was kicking, and I'm known for my kicking, and I kicked in the pads a couple of weeks ago, and my coach is like, "What are you doing this for?" And he fixes me up and moves me around, and I'm like, "Yeah, why was I doing that? That's so stupid." So it's constantly just refining.
That's it, bro. So now in the UFC, bro, 4 fights in, I believe, is it? Is that including the contender? Yeah, 4 fights plus
Nah,
contender,
with contender,
right?
it's 5.
5, yeah, 5 total, bro. How's it feeling? Is it kind of what it's cracked up to be?
Yeah. Oh, don't get me wrong. Like I love it. It's it's the dream. It's the way you get treated by the staff, and to fight on big shows and have the media coverage and the other opportunities it brings for you in life. It's it's everything I thought it would be. I feel like, it felt like it took me 6 or 7 fights before, when I got in the cage, I felt like I was comfortable and I could really let go and show myself and my skill set. And then, you're always doing what you can to avoid that at any time. But the step up between the local scene and the UFC, I felt like I had to go through that process a little bit again of getting used to the big stadium, getting used to the fight week with the media, the added pressure and stuff that comes with being on the world stage. And I feel like in my last fight, I broke through that. Like I kind of hit my stride and went like, I know what to expect. I know the feeling now. I know what's different, what's the same. And I feel like I'm now, from the last fight, this is the start of my run.
Yeah, bro, that last fight in Perth against Burns, that was a good one, bro. I was over there live watching you, bro, supporting. It was good to see you in the W rather than the Sydney fight, bro. And now you're back on again in Sydney again, right?
I'm back to Sydney for redemption. The whole thing left a sour taste in my mouth, and there hasn't been many days I haven't, thought about it. So to go back to Sydney and right that wrong, I'm pumped for that.
Yeah, bro. I want to come over as well, but this time I'm fucking grounded. The missus won't let me go because we got a new puppy coming a couple of days before, and she won't She won't let me go. She wants me to
Fair
help take
enough.
care of it. So
You
I'm
can't win them
really,
all.
that's it, man. I got 2 out of 3, so it's not too bad, bro.
Yeah.
On that front of things, bro. Fighting in Australia, I'm sure you want to kind of step out of the Australia scene and fight overseas a little bit more as well. Although you get the nice crowd support, it must be like hectic in that way. Like in the way it's an experience that you really want to be in your fighting career, but you must also want to experience getting out and about in the world, right? In such a big organization.
Yeah, look, I think the end of the year, the next couple fights I have this year are going to need to be overseas, whether it's, Europe or the USA or wherever the UFC sends me. But I wouldn't even mind like going and fighting in enemy territory, like a European in Europe or a Brazilian in Brazil or, a hometown boy in the US. I like being that side. Like I really thrive off being the B side, and I just haven't had a chance to do that yet. Um, so yeah. I love fighting in front of the Aussie crowd, but you're spot on. I've got to get overseas this year.
Bro, something about fighting this one too. I don't know if you fought with Jimmy before because he's a good mate of yours and he's actually fighting on the same card. Is this the first time you actually fought together on a show?
Nah, we fought on Perth together, my debut. So we had that one together. And then, but this is the first one, since sort of I've hit my straps because that was debut, me getting used to it, and he was doing his own thing. So it would be great. I'm really looking forward to seeing him come back, and he seems to have, sort of freed himself of the burden that he was putting on himself in terms of the pressure. And like I tell people this all the time, Jimmy is just so good. He's just so good when he puts it together, and I think he's put himself in the best position to do that.
Yeah, from an outsider looking in, bro, it seems like the skills are there. It's a psychological thing, and let's see if you can bust through that.
Yeah, yeah. I think the things he's put in place and the way just you get a lot of a gauge for someone for how they're speaking about things, and just the way he's speaking about it, it seems like he's really, taking down those obstacles in front of him, and we're going to see the best version of Jimmy again.
Awesome, bro. So for you, bro, fighting Gabriel Santos, February 9th, UFC 312 in Sydney. Um, Quick take on it, bro. I know you're going to get smashed to shit off everyone you talk to, so no need to
Yeah.
go too much into it. But he looks like a good fighter, man. Good grappler, sharp striker, rangy looking guy, like pretty good tank, a gas tank, I would say. What are your thoughts on him quickly?
Yeah, exactly the same as you. I think his UFC record of 1-2 is really deceptive. Because his one first loss was on a week's notice, and he lost to Laroni Murphy, a split decision, who's ranked 10 in our division, and most media judges had him winning that fight. Right, so you could easily say that he should be a top 10 guy just based off that fight. And then he got caught by David Unamar, and then he's come out and blitzed the winner of Road to UFC. So he's very much the best guy I'll have ever fought. Like I'm under no illusions about this being, an easy fight or anything like that. He will be the best guy I've ever fought. But I think my ceiling's still got a long, long way to go. So I still think that I'm gonna, get through this fight, and I think I've got all the tools to pick him apart. He swaps stances, I swap stances. He can grapple, I can grapple. He can strike, I can strike. I think where my real advantage is he's really well drilled and he throws things really well. I think really well. So I think, once we get later in the round, later in the first, into the second, and if it goes into the third, that's where I'll really be able to step up and pick up things that he's doing, where he's just going to be on his programs that he runs all the time.
Yeah, nah, that's a nice take, bro. Like, and he's quite dangerous, say, looking at some of his things. Nice front kicks, knees, man. Heavy on the front leg, which is obviously going to play into your world a little bit. But yeah, it's going to be a very good fight to watch, I think.
Yeah, I think there's a reason they've put us as the main event on the prelims, because, I think it's a fight that bodes well for people to want to buy the pay-per-view and see what else is on, because it's going to be a good fight no matter which way, it goes. On the ground, it's going to be exciting. On the feet, it's going to be exciting. But I think I'm going to be able to finish him in the second or third. I really think he'll start in orthodox, and he'll play that leg kick game with me if he's game for a little bit, and then when that doesn't work, he'll go to southpaw, and I think that will be his undoing. I think he's used to when he goes to southpaw, people try and match him, and I can do that. So we'll see how we go.
Nice, nice man. Hey, how is it on doing the interviews, bro? Because how many interviews would you expect to do, like leading up to it? Like, and everyone will be asking almost exactly the same thing, right?
I don't mind it. Yeah, you just got to get yourself used to, like, sometimes you feel like, oh, I can't say the exact same answer because I've already said it once, but
Yeah,
it's not. It's like if it's the same question, it's the same answer. So you just get used
yeah,
to saying the same thing.
yeah,
Um, but it's not too bad. Like I like doing them, and like I try and do interviews. People who I've already got a relationship with, if I've got time, I'll always try and do. But I just try not to do many new ones in the lead ups
yeah,
to fights because it's like, fuck, you just get asked for so many now.
yeah. Because everyone can do it, right? It's so accessible to do interviews now, bro.
Yeah,
So yeah, everyone wants to be an interviewer. Yeah, bro. On the show, Dricus du Plessis, Sean Strickland's a pretty big fight for Australia, and it's kind of interesting that it's not an Aussie or a Kiwi fighting on that main event. What are your thoughts on that fight?
I don't really have any. Like that's boring as shit by me, but it just doesn't really interest me. It's not in my division. I don't really have a relationship with any of those guys. Met them both really good guys, but that I'll leave that fight to some middleweights to break down in whatever way they see
Yeah,
fit. It just doesn't
not
it
interested.
doesn't excite me at all.
Yeah, cool. What about Colby, another Aussie getting the shot at Ilya Tapuria's brother? That's pretty
Yeah,
cool, right?
it's a cool storyline, isn't it?
Yeah,
Colby's got a grouse gas tank. The big thing here, like Colby's coming up on short notice, but I know he's always fit. He's always fit, and he works his ass off, so that's not going to be an issue. The the thing about this one is Ilya's brother. I'm sure he's talented, but he hasn't had any tough fights. Like if you look at his record, it's all against guys who haven't really had any good fights. So whereas on the other end of that, I know Colby's fought really good guys and performed really well. So yeah, it's an interesting fight, and I like the storyline with Ilya and Volk both being in the corner.
and on the Tapurias, bro. Well, on that first interview, I asked you like how you'd go against the champion, who at the time was Volk. Now the champion is Ilya Tapuria, bro. How would you take Ilya Tapuria out in a fight?
Well, what do you think? He's fucking very heavy on that front leg, isn't he?
Exactly.
Yeah, he's got. I think I match up really well with Ilya, to be honest. Like, I
Yeah,
think I'm defensively quite sound. I don't get hit much. I think I'd be good in the pocket, and I feel like I could chop up that front leg. Obviously, there is levels to the game. Like, I'm under no false illusions about how good Ilya is. But if you're in the UFC and you don't look at the guys at the top and think that you have a chance with them, then what are you doing here? Like, where are you going to go?
yeah,
So I look at all those guys and think, how do I match up with him or him, and make a plan in my head for it.
yeah, bro. And just back on your fight, I didn't mention. I'd like to see it where you slow him down a bit. Like you said later in the fight. I think if it's a chess match later in the fight, I think you take it. The first round he's crazy and he's got crazy energy, and that if you can slow
Yeah,
him down, I think it'd be nice to see you guys in a chess match to see what you can do.
yeah, exactly. And the thing is, like, it's easy to like if guys aren't very defensively sound, it's easy to come forward and be aggressive and throw lots of shots. But when somebody's moving out of the way and you're falling over your feet, it's a lot harder to do. And I don't get hit much. You look at my significant strikes absorbed per minute, I just don't take much damage. People find it hard to get the range on me. And when they do step into range, they often get hurt. So, look, I know he's going to come out aggressive, but it's one thing to be aggressive against certain people. It's another thing to do it against me.
Nice, bro. Hey, just one last question. It's just a silly question I've been asking some people amongst other questions. If you had to fight a bear, a lion, or gorilla, which one would you choose, and what would be your strategy?
It's so hard. Probably, I think definitely have to be a lion, wouldn't it? Like gorilla and bear, you're just cooked because they're just too big. A lion, like you just try and get the arms around the neck and hold on for dear life.
Yeah, actually, most people choose a lion, strangely enough.
Yeah, I reckon that's
Yeah,
the one.
yeah. Most people choose a lion because it's going to take them out the quickest.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like,
See, the gorilla would
like
just
just on the
beat you
throat.
up.
Yeah, the bite on the throat rather than a clubbing to death or getting
Yeah,
your stomach eaten while you're still alive or something, you know?
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah, cool.
Oh, brutal.
All right, Jack, bro. Thanks for your time again. Don't want to keep you too long. You'll be getting pushed by everyone. Looking forward to the fight. I'm pumped. It always makes me very invested when I've had the time to talk to you guys for a few times. I feel very invested in your fight, bro. So I'll be nervous sitting there in my lounge room with a few mates cheering for you.
All right. Thanks very much, Toby. Yeah, looking forward to the fight.
Bro, cheers, man.